So what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys liked that little the thumbnail that I have made for the intro to the video. I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I can't wait for the next season to come out on Netflix. If you guys haven't seen it, check that thing out, man. It's awesome. I love the 80s vibe. It's awesome. But anyway, it took me a while to make that, so please give the video a like, if at least for that, for the effort I put into the thumbnail. Anyway, it's time to talk about dieting tips. Tips number 5. I'm gonna tell you guys at the end a formula to make a protein pumpkin pie that you're gonna like. Very macro friendly, high in protein, low in calories. You can incorporate that into your diet and have it at any time. And now at this time of the year, man, you go to the market, you see the pumpkin pies. For those of you who like it, I mean, I like it. I see it at the market and it makes me want to have it, but it's so high in calories that I try to stay away from it. I do have it sometimes, but for the most part, I will give you the formula of a pumpkin pie that I make, a protein pumpkin pie that I make, macro friendly, and you can have it anytime. I'm also going to show you guys how to make a smoothie that with a secret ingredient that thickens it up, makes it kind of like ice cream. I'm gonna tell you guys how to make that, and maybe a couple other little tips here and there. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about the bulk. The last time that we spoke, I think I was about six or 7 months into my bulking, so lean bulking. But I had put on about 7-8 pounds, something like that. So I was right on target to what I was looking for, which is about a pound a month of weight gain. For the most part, it was going very well. And then I recorded that video on a Saturday, and that weekend I ended up going out to eat, and I ended up eating a little bit more than I usually do. And on Monday morning I weighed in. I was up like another, I don't know, 3 or 4 pounds, something like that. I weighed in a little bit heavy, so I was looking a little fluffy, a little watery. So I thought, well, maybe, you know what, I'm gonna do a little mini cut. And the reason for the mini cut, I mean, that weight I imagine would have come down over the 3-4 days. It would have just come back down to normal. But I wanted to do a little mini cut just to tighten things up a little bit, because we were going on a Cancun trip. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that, where we went to Cancun, and I wanted to, tighten up a little bit for the trip. So I decided, well, it's a good time. Maybe let's just go ahead and do a little mini cut. So that Monday, I started to do a little bit of cardio. And then what happened was that a good friend of mine, what's up, D? He called me up. He said, hey, I'm going to join the gym. I'm going to start going. Finally made a decision. I'm gonna start going to the gym with you. And I told him, all right, come on down. I'm already here. I was already at the gym. So when he came in, we talked for a little bit, kind of get an idea of what his main goals were and what he wants to do. So for his main goal for right now is just to lose some body fat, and to start putting on some muscle, which is basically what everybody wants to do. So obviously that comes along with doing cardio. So I wanted to motivate him and to help him out. So we just started doing cardio together. So every day before weights, we would do about 15 minutes of cardio, then do about an hour of weightlifting, and then another 20 minutes, 30 minutes of cardio at the end. And what happened was that my mini cut turned into a full-on blown cut, and I ended up dropping all the weight off, basically getting back to just as lean as I've ever been able to get. And let me show you guys. I'm going to show you guys a couple of pictures. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen these pictures already, but here's a couple of pictures of what happened. All right, so as you guys can see, I kind of, I got pretty lean. My back was looking shredded as could possibly get, I think. But the front, I think I could still do better, man. I think I could still do better. For most people, that would be more than enough. I guess that would be fine. And it is. There's no reason to do that. It's just a goal of mine. I want to challenge myself, and it really doesn't get challenging until I get to that point. When I get to that kind of level, I know I could still, there's still a few pounds of fat. I think I would like to lose 4 more pounds. But, by the time you see those pictures, I was 6 or 7 pounds lighter than I am right now, the way I normally am. It's only 6 or 7 pound difference. And like 5 of those pounds is probably just glycogen anyway. It's not even fat. So basically we're talking about only like 2 pounds or 3 pounds of fat that I have to lose to get to that level, which is, it's really nothing. I can do that in like 4 weeks, no problem, 5 weeks, but once I get to that point, it gets ridiculously hard. It goes from being like, in the beginning, like nothing, like so easy. I wasn't even trying. The weight just was coming off. And then I get to about that level. Just before I get to that level, the last, pound or two, because that's when I'm really digging into that fat, it starts to get difficult. And then from then on out, it becomes just all of a sudden overnight, it becomes like impossible. Why do I say that? Well, by the time I get to that level of leanness, just my body, I guess, starts to adjust to make adjustments to kind of not lose any more weight. It's just I cut my calories at that point again a little bit to see if the scale will drop. By then I'm probably eating about 1,700 calories, somewhere around there, and then I become like super low energy, and that's really what stops me from being able to like keep going, basically. Because maybe if fitness was my life, revolved around fitness, and this is all I did, maybe I could just lay in bed all day and then go to the gym and eat a little bit and then come back, take a shower, and lay in bed again and do it that way. But man, if you have a normal life and you have to work, you have to do things, and you just don't want to be that kind of low energy. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's like, so yeah, so here's the thing. Some people say that they get cravings, that it's very difficult to deal with the cravings. Some people say that they get hungry, they're just constantly hungry, and they can't deal with the hunger. And yeah, those things do happen. They happen, but that is not the main issue for me. I can deal with that, no problem. I would be able to dig and keep going, and no problem. That's not a problem for me. What happens to me, man, is that what I like to call like extreme fatigue. It's just man, it's a level of fatigue that like nothing I've ever felt before. You just don't want to do anything. It's just like horrible. Thinking becomes a problem. You gotta think, you gotta drive, driving, moving the steering wheel's a problem. Like what? Yeah, the level of fatigue that you start feeling is just like unbearable. But we're gonna learn how to get past that. We're gonna learn how to keep the energy level a little bit more manageable, so that we can accomplish that. The next time I do this cut, I definitely want to dig past this sticking point, and again, I want to drop like 3-4 more pounds from there, and we're gonna see if we can get it done. I don't know if this happens to you guys. I don't know. It doesn't happen to me until I get to that point. Up until I get to that point, I'm fine. Then I get to that level, and the amount of fatigue becomes ridiculous, like unbearable. Like getting out of bed is a problem. So obviously at that point, I just increase my calories, and then I feel fine again. But I can't make the scale drop. So that's why I've gone up to that level. I can sustain that for a little while. No, it's not that big of a deal, but But getting below that is ridiculous, ridiculous. I do want to try again. This is the third time that I do a cut, and every time it's gotten somewhat easier. This one was the easiest one I've done. I've learned a whole bunch in the process, and one of the things I learned is the following. When I'm doing the lean bulk, my plan was to do about a pound a month for a year. So gain about 12 to maybe even 15 pounds in a year's time, and then do a cut. Well, this time I only got as far as like 6 or 7 months. But here's the thing. Once I put on, 5, 6 pounds, 7 pounds, I feel great. I feel like very high energy. I feel awesome. I want to go to the gym and work out. I hit PRs. My strength level, goes through the roof, and I feel great. So I don't think there's any reason to just keep gaining weight from there. Maybe this time what I'm gonna do is just get to that point and maintain that, because I feel great, I feel fine, and try to make gains from there, just muscle gains, not putting on any more weight, because basically at that point, if I keep putting on weight at that pace, it's just gonna be, most likely it's just gonna be fat, and then it's just more weight to cut at the end, and I want to avoid that. So basically this time I'm going to, well, I've been doing it already for like 3 months since I got back from Cancun. I kind of like all the previous, by the way, something important, all the previous times when I did this, I did the reverse diet, and I spent the first, I would say, month and a half, 6 weeks to maybe 8 weeks kind of fighting for my weight not to go up fast. Okay, this time, because I went on the trip and I just ate, I went on full-on YOLO mode, and I ate whatever I wanted to. I got back, I weighed already like 5-6 pounds more than before I got there. A lot of that is just water weight, but I'm sure I have put on already a couple pounds of fat, and that's all I need. After that, I felt fine, and I did not keep gaining weight. The first couple times I did it, I was kind of scared that maybe I'll put on all this fat and then all this weight, and I can't make it drop again. And I was scared of that. But I've already done the cut this is 3 times, and I know I can get back down to that. I don't know about getting beyond that. That's what I'm gonna try the next time. And by the way, this time I wasn't even meaning to do like a cut like that. It just happened. Okay, so the next time I'm gonna try to catalog things a little bit better on Instagram stories. If you're not following me on there, please do. Just type my name up on Instagram, you'll see it. And I'm gonna catalog things a little bit better, my meals, how the weight is going, and what am I doing, in the gym and all that stuff, so that you can kind of follow along and see the progress. And I'm gonna try the next time I'm gonna try again on finding a way to not feel so low energy, to where I can function fine and dig deeper, all right, and get more shredded. So that's the goal. For now, I'm kind of I'm weighing, I like I said, I gained 5-6 pounds. That's where I'm at, but I feel super comfortable. I'm not gonna keep on trying to put on a pound a month, because right now I don't see any point in that. I'm hitting PRs in the gym. My energy level is great. I feel fine. I feel awesome. So I'm just gonna stay around this weight and just try to make gains from here and see what happens. So it's been like about 3 months now, and I'm gonna keep going, try to go for like a year's time this time. Let's see if I make it a whole year. But anyway, so some people would say that I failed at bulking. I don't know. Anyway, man, that's what happened. I'm gonna show you guys a few tips on how to make that protein pumpkin pie and the smoothie, and let's get on with the food. All right, guys. So let's talk about how to make this smoothie. And first things first, obviously you're gonna need a blender, and you know what? For this recipe, one of those little ninjas, or I don't know, one of those little bullets. These little small blenders are not gonna cut it for this. This stuff gets so thick, and that it's just that little kind of blender will not move this thing. So you're gonna need like a blender that has some guts. So yeah, that's first things first. So let's talk about some of the ingredients that go into the smoothie. Like I've told you guys before, my sweetener of choice is stevia. It's what I like to use for the smoothie, for my protein oats, and for a bunch of other things. But you know what? I want to show you guys this other thing here. Although I love stevia, for coffee, it's just it's not my favorite thing. So for coffee, I don't know if I showed you guys this before, but I definitely like this product a whole bunch. As you can see, this little bottle here, it's the classic hazelnut is sugar-free, and these things are calorie-free. They have 0 calories. The bigger bottle I usually find at Home Goods. They have a whole bunch of flavors. But be forewarned, when you're looking through the flavors at Home Goods, they're all mixed up. So make sure you grab the sugar-free one of whatever flavor it is you pick. The smaller bottle, I actually got at Walmart. I like to keep it because I usually pour the content of the big bottle into the small bottle, just because the pouring spout on the small bottle is perfect to not make a mess, and it's what I use every day to sweeten my coffee. So let's keep going with the smoothie. So I told you guys I usually put stevia in it, and for my formula here for the smoothie, I put 6 teaspoons, 6 full teaspoons of stevia, and that gets it to the right amount of sweetness for me. Obviously something you have to experiment with, and yeah, so then obviously you're gonna need a protein. The protein that I've been using lately is PES Cake Pop flavor. It's this is a whey and casein blend, and one of the properties of casein is that it thickens liquids. So when you make your smoothie, it's already gonna start helping you, helping the smoothie get thicker. So yeah, this is the flavor I've been using, the Cake Pop, but I'm sure you can probably experiment and try other flavors, and it'll be just fine. Here's the back label of that protein in case you want to see the calories and the content. But you can go to the website. I always buy it straight from the website. I use discount code Travis. That gives you 15% off. And I order 3 at a time. That way I get the free shipping. And it comes out to a really good deal. So yeah, that's the protein that I put in it. And then let's talk about the fruit. For fruit on the smoothie, I use the strawberries and blueberries. I put frozen fruit in it, and I'm sure you can use fresh fruit as well, and it's gonna be fine. But if you use frozen fruit, again, it's gonna help the whole thing thicken, and that's what you want. You want it to become like ice cream and really thick. So I use frozen fruit. Then what else do we put in this thing? Oh yeah, I put yogurt. I use the non-fat Greek yogurt from Aldi's, which is the one on the right here on this picture, but I'm sure you can experiment, try other kinds if you want to put other ones, flavor ones, or whatever it is you want to try. Again, I use the usually non-fat plain Greek yogurt. It mixes very well with that flavor of protein too. It tastes delicious, and with the fruit. So basically the smoothie, that's about it, other than adding usually 8 ounces of water and about 10 ounces of ice. So for me, each ice cube is 1 ounce, so it's 10 ice cubes. Usually I'll take the blender and put it on the scale as I weigh add the different things in there, and it automatically start weighing everything. So I will go ahead usually and put my 8 ounces of water, and my 1 serving of Greek yogurt is 170 grams of this Aldi's Greek yogurt. So after I got the water and the yogurt in there, I'll go ahead and give it a quick blend and get that mixed up. Then I take it off the blender, I put it back on the scale, and I weigh out half a serving of strawberries and half a serving of the blueberries. That's 70 grams of each, so in total it's 140 grams. Once I got my fruit in there, I'll go ahead and give it another quick blend. Now at this point is when I add my all the powdery stuff. So I'll go ahead and add the scoop of protein. So I'll take the blender, put it back on the scale, I'll weigh out the protein. I'll add my 6 teaspoons of stevia, and then on top of that, you want to put the secret product. Okay, you want to put the secret ingredient, this xanthan gum. This stuff, what it does is, first of all, it's a natural product, so don't be scared of this stuff. It's a natural product, and what it does is thickens liquids, okay? And it's used already in a million things that you're already eating, and you just didn't know it's in it. But this xanthan gum will thicken liquids to a point that it's like unbelievable. So you want to use very little of this stuff, man. Believe me, do not put more than a quarter of a teaspoon, and measure it out with something that really is a quarter, okay? Once you've done it a couple times, maybe you can eyeball it or whatever, but the first time, just go light on this stuff and put it on top of the other powders. The reason for that is that you don't want it to touch water until it's already moving and blending. If you add this, and then let's say you add it first, and then you add your water and your yogurt, and you start doing your thing, what's going to happen is that this stuff is going to become like a solid right away when it touches the water, and then it's going to stay like in one spot, and it's not going to really blend into everything like the way you want it to. So that's why I do it in this order. I've experimented with it, and I've tried different things, and for me, this is what works best. Now, I'll go ahead and blend that quite a bit until I see it starting to get really thick, and that is going to take a few seconds. After that, you want to add your ice, and then you finish the process. You just blend everything together with the ice. As it blends, one of these pictures I'm going to show you here, you can actually see it's already like really thick, and there's still like ice floating on top of this thing, because the ice just floats on top. It doesn't want to go down. So you take a spoon, push the stuff down, and then blend it again. And you might have to do that a couple of times to get everything to blend together really good. Once you have it all blended up, then you're going to end up with this here, and man, I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It's like a soft serve, like an ice cream, and very, very macro friendly. You're getting almost all your calories here from protein. Okay, this has very little carbs and like almost no fat. So basically, that's the way I make the smoothie. If you guys have any questions about the smoothie, just hit me up, get a hold of me somehow, and I'll tell you. I'll answer your questions, or just comment down below, and I'll see it. All right, guys. So this is how this smoothie comes out. Look at how thick that is. I'm telling you, it comes out kind of like a soft serve type of ice cream. And believe me, man, this stuff it's delicious. You guys have to make this. You got to try it. Look at that. Check it out, guys. I just made another batch today. Look at this stuff. Look, it's upside down. It doesn't come down from the spoon. All right, so let's get into the pumpkin pie. So the pumpkin pie. Well, first of all, let me show you guys a picture of all the ingredients laid out here. This is basically what you're gonna need to make this pumpkin pie. The way I make this one, it's I start out with the liquids. So I'll go ahead and put in the milk and the egg whites. I always measure everything. You're gonna need 1 cup of milk. You're gonna need 3/4 of a cup of the egg whites, and mix all of that together. Then once you got that, you want to go ahead and add the pumpkin, and it takes a whole can of this pumpkin pulp. And make sure you grab the right thing here too, because at the market they also have pumpkin pie mix. You don't want that. That's full of sugar and full of other ingredients that you don't want. You just want just the pumpkin, okay? So go ahead, add the pumpkin, and get it all stirred in a big bowl. Obviously, you're gonna need a big bowl. And usually I just use a fork to stir everything up. You can use a whisk or do whatever you want, but it stirs up pretty easily. It's not a big deal. I use a fork. After that, I start adding my dry ingredients. So I'll go ahead and add the protein powder. The protein powder, you're gonna need three servings of protein powder. So the macros I'm gonna give you guys here for this pumpkin pie will be based on this protein. Obviously, you get a different protein that has a different macro content, then it's gonna obviously change a little bit the calories and the protein and all that stuff. But what I'm gonna give you guys is based on the same protein that I use for the smoothie, the cake pop. I don't always use this one. Again, I do experiment, I do try different things, but this one was made with this protein here. So also you're gonna need 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and you're gonna add the stevia. Now the stevia, you kind of add it again by how sweet you want it. I mean, I put 4 tablespoons of stevia, and for me the sweetness level on that was perfect. So you stir all of this stuff up. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you have to add also a teaspoon of the vanilla extract. All right, guys, so once you have everything mixed in well in the big bowl, then you want to pour that into whatever dish you're going to use to bake your pie. Obviously, give it a nice coating of non-stick spray so it doesn't stick to your container, whatever it is. I use this one here, and this is a picture of the content once it's already in there getting ready to go in the oven. I bake it at 350 degrees for 45 minutes, and by that time it's perfect. Keep in mind this will rise quite a bit, so make sure there's room for the pumpkin pie to rise as it bakes. Once you take it out and finish baking, it's actually gonna settle back down after a while, and you're gonna see it's gonna get some cracks up on the top. You can see it here where it's starting to crack a little bit, but it's gonna crack a little bit like this. That's fine. That means it got done baking well, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So the macros for this pumpkin pie is as follows. The whole thing has 715 calories, is 103 protein, 57 carb, and 8 fat. So I usually cut it into 8 slices. So if you cut it into 8 slices, each slice is going to have 89 calories, 12.8 protein, 7.2 carbs, and 1 gram of fat. So as you can see, it's like extremely low fat, and even the carbs is super low, 7 carb. Almost everything's coming from protein, 12.8 per slice. And man, it tastes great. Try it out, give it a shot. And yeah, one more thing that happened, and this is how you know that you are an expert in the kitchen, is that I actually drew blood on a recipe that does not require using a knife. That's crazy. I'll see you guys on the next one.